evening, everyone. We just finished our meeting for tonight. We discussed the MFF and we discussed the NATO box, and I can inform you that 26 leaders agreed on the NATO box in all its components. I should be very precise. One leader, Sweden, needs to consult its parliament, which is in line with the usual procedure for this country, and one leader couldn't agree on this NATO box. It means that there is a strong support for all the components of this NATO box, expressed by 26 leaders. I hope Sweden will also follow. All the priorities, this is important, support for Ukraine, migration, solidarity fund, defense. This is part of this NATO box, and it means that we will revert to this matter early next year, and we will try to get unanimity in order to make possible for us to implement this NATO box. But I think that tonight we sent a very powerful signal to the European citizens, a very powerful signal to the Ukrainian citizens, because we have decided to grant the candidate status to Georgia, to open the negotiations with Ukraine and with Moldova, to make a very important step with Bosnia and Herzegovina, because we will open negotiations, and a report will be issued by the Commission in the weeks to come in view to make a decision. This is a historic moment, a historic European Council, and tomorrow we will continue our work. We have other important topics on the agenda. You know that we will address migration, we will discuss the external affairs, especially the situation in the Middle East, anti-Semitism. It's also part of the talk we'll have tomorrow, the fight against anti-Semitism and all the forms of racism and xenophobia. And we will try to make additional conclusions on all those topics tomorrow.
How are you planning to overcome Hungary's veto?
Look, I think that for this summit we made a huge step in the right direction. And again, we took everyone by surprise, because we were able, and we have been able in record time, to make a very powerful decision on enlargement in general, and especially on Ukraine. Point two, we were also able, in record time, to make a political, very broad support for this NATO box, which is a very difficult debate. You know that we are talking about money, financial solidarity. This is always extremely difficult, and I'm certain that you remember, and I remember the talks we had for the initial budget about 4 years ago. We spent 4 days and 4 nights here in Brussels. Here, in a few hours, we succeeded to make a balanced proposal with a broad political support. It is showing that we are serious, which is showing that we want to be credible, and that we want to do everything to protect and to defend our fundamental interests and to provide more stability. We need stability, and especially in those very complex geopolitical times.
Under the current program of macrofinancial assistance, the Commission only has one payment left to make to Ukraine. Now you want to discuss this in January. How can you ensure that the EU assistance to Ukraine will not be suddenly interrupted?
I don't want to go too much into the detail, because I want to work with the colleagues in the days to come, in the weeks to come, to prepare that summit that will take place next year, early next year. But I would like to send a positive and a reassuring signal, because we have tools to guarantee that we are reliable and that the Ukrainians can count on our support. And when I was insisting that the NATO box, which is a political commitment supported by 26 member states, when Sweden will formally support, it means that in this NATO box we have a package of 50 billion for Ukraine, and it means that there is a strong political will of 26 leaders to implement this NATO box, and it's also a signal that we send to the Ukrainian friends.
Hungary is the 27th state.
Sorry?
Hungary was the one who was against this NATO box.
I suppose that you are very well informed about what was the nature of our debate. And voilà. Other questions? Autre question?
What happened with Orban? What happened with Viktor Orban? The whole situation during the discussion for Ukraine, for the accession of Ukraine.
No, we had a good discussion, and what was a priority for all of us, and certainly for me, it was to make sure that no one country would oppose a decision. It was important to make sure that even if one country would have some hesitation, some doubts, or even an opposition on what was on the table, it was important that there was no formal opposition, so that we are in a position to make a decision, and this is what we did.
Would the European Union be stronger with 26 members? Sorry? Would the European Union be stronger with 26 members?
I think that we are strong with 27 member states, and we are strong when we are able to make united decisions. This is challenging. We can say and we can observe that this is challenging. This is always complex. It requires a lot of efforts. But what we have demonstrated today, this is the fact that we have sent a powerful message in terms of enlargement, point one. What we have demonstrated that this is the fact that in a few hours we have been able to build a very broad majority, coalition, unanimity, less one vote in favor of a powerful neighbourhood, which sends a clear signal in terms of political priorities.
Would you consider going for a solution at 26 if you don't manage to get the 27?
Sorry?
Would you consider a solution at 26 if you don't manage to get the 27?
I don't want to say too much about the preparation of the next meeting. We have various tools in our hands to make sure that we deliver on our political promises. Merci beaucoup. Thank you.